Amazing day to all. This is Teacher Dan Rogayan, and welcome to another episode of our Let Review Drill. In this episode, we'll be covering random questions in general education. So let me first share my slide. Alright. So, kumusta po kayong lahat? Kumusta ang inyong pag-review in preparation for your upcoming licensure examination for professional teachers come March 2025? So, for this episode, samahan po ninyo ako muli no, na magsagot ng ating mga Gen Ed questions. So, this is comprised of 25 items. So, of course, let us all be guided and be um, reminded of our goal to pass and even top the board licensure examination for professional teachers. And let's keep manifesting and let's keep claiming it. No, we'll pray that we'll all pass the board exam. Okay, so for the focus of our review for this episode, for drill number 5, we'll be having different areas in general education. So I hope you're ready, and I hope you have your pen and paper with you, no? Para sabayan po ninyo ako sa pagsasagot ng ating mga items. And later on, no, right after our drill, let me know in the comment section how many did you get, no? So hopefully you'll be able to perfect, no? To get a perfect score, 25 out of 25. Okay? So the questions that I included in this review drill actually were posted in our Let Review page, Sir Dan Rogayan. You can follow it on Facebook. And of course, after reading the question, I'll give you time to answer and then we'll rationalize them. Okay, so let's start. Item number 1. Area English. Which of the following is expressed clearly, effectively states the idea, and has no structural error? A. I learned the distance of the sun from the earth was 90 million miles. B. I learned that the sun was 90 million miles from the earth. Or letter C. I learned that the sun is 90 million miles from the earth. D. I learned that the earth and the sun are 90 millions apart. So which do you think is a grammatically correct sentence with no structural error? Is it A, B, C, or D? Okay, so what's your answer here? All right, so of course this is letter C. I learned that the sun is 90 million miles from the earth. So this is general knowledge. So basically we use the present tense of the verb is, no, which is appropriate because the distance between the sun and the earth is a fact and does not change. So the structure of that particular sentence is logical and easy to understand. Okay? So just in case, no, in Gen Ed Science, matanong sa atin, how do you call the point where the Earth is near the Sun? So the point where the Earth is near to the Sun, that is what we call perihelion. While if the Sun is if the Earth, no, is farther from the Sun, no, in terms of distance, that is aphelion. Alright? Again, pag malapit, palapit, perihelion. Pag malayo, apakalayo, aphelion. Away, aphelion, apakalayo. Okay? Second item, item number 2, social science. You are a member of a cooperative which operates taxis, tricycles, and buses. Of which type of a cooperative are you a member? A. Service cooperative. B. Multi-purpose cooperative. C. Marketing cooperative. D. Producers cooperative. So what is your answer here? If you are a member of cooperative and you operate taxis, tricycles, and buses, you're a member of, what's the answer here? That's correct. It's letter A, service cooperative. Remember that taxis, tricycles, and buses provide transportation services. Thus, letter A is the correct answer. Now, it provides services, as I mentioned, to the members and to the public. While multi-purpose cooperative, they engage, no, in multi-purpose or multiple business activities or endeavors. While marketing cooperative primarily helps members sell their products, while produces cooperative involves production-related activities. So these are some of the cooperatives that we can find. All right. Item number 3, social science. What was the name of forced labor imposed during the Spanish regime? A. Falla, B. Bandala, C. Servicio Manual, D. Polo. Alright? Forced labor. So pag nakita sa board exam, forced labor, that's of course polo. No? It's polo y servicio. Servicio. Okay? So the polo y servicio actually is a forced labor system imposed on Filipino aged 16 to 60. Okay, males. No, they are Filipino males aged 16 to 60 during the Spanish period. So this is what we call the Polo y Servicio. So basically, it's a 40-day forced labor every year. Okay? Falya naman is the payment made by Filipinos to be exempted from forced labor. So just in case matanong sa board exam natin, how do we call that particular payment so that you'll be exempted with Polo y Servicio, that is Valia. While Bandala is the system of forced sale naman of goods to the government at low prices. So sa pilitang pagtinda ng ating mga ani ng mga Pilipino sa pamahalaan. While Servicio Manual not the official term for forced labor. Okay, item number 4. Science. Which of the following is an alkaloid? A. Bakelite, B. Aspirin, C. Nicotine, D. Eucalyptol. Okay, so what here, which of the following is an alkaloid? Okay. So what's your answer here? Future top notchers? Of course, that is letter C, nicotine. So letter C is or nicotine is an alkaloid. Okay, so alkaloid, when we talk about alkaloids, is a member of a large group of substances found in plants and other and some are in fungi, no, which contain hydrogen or nitrogen, I mean. So nicotine is actually a naturally occurring alkaloid found in tobacco plants. So with a chemical formula C10H14 N2. While bakelite is a synthetic polymer, aspirin is a non-steroidal, okay, steroidal anti-inflammatory drug or NSAID, and eucalyptol naman is a natural compound, a cyclic ether found in the eucalyptus. Okay, so nicotine is an alkaloid. Item number 5, Filipino. Aling salita ang hindi katulad ng kahulugan sa pangkat ng mga sumusunod na salita? A. Gahaman, B. Makasarili, C. Matakaw, D. Mapagbigay. So dito sa tanong na to, tinitignan natin yung na iba ang kahulugan, no? Hindi katulad ng kahulugan. At ano ang sagot natin sa tanong na ito? Future LPTs. Of course, this is letter D, mapagbigay. Mapagbigay or in English, generous or magnanimous or selfless, no? Not selfish, no? So that is mapagbigay. Now, compared to the other options, no? Gahaman, makasarili, matakaw ay tumutukoy, no? Sa pagiging ganid, no? Sa pagiging makasarili nga, no? Sa hindi pagkakaroon ng pagbibigay ng anong bagay sa ibang tao. So in English, it's more of like greedy, no? Selfish, no? Very uh inconsiderate, no, of the others. So basically, so that's ABC. They all share the same meaning, while mapagbigay is an opposite meaning, or we call it antonym or hindi or kasalungat na kahulugan. Okay? So item number 6, social science. Who was the first editor of La Solidaridad and the orator of the reform movement? A. Graciano Lopez Haina, B. Maximo Viola, C. Valentin Ventura, D. Marcelo H. Del Pilar. Alright, so sino po ang ating first editor? Ang unang patnugot ng La Solidaridad. So what is your answer, future top-notchers? Pag nakita, ano, first editor of La Solidaridad, walang iba kundi si Graciano Lopez Haina. Okay? So si Graciano Lopez Haina, who used the pen name Diego Laura. No? Maximo Viola, alam na alam natin yan. Maximo Viola ang nagpondo, no, sa Noli Me Tangere ni Dr. Jose P. Rizal. So Maximo Viola is considered as the Santa Claus of the Noli Me Tangere. While Valentin Ventura naman ang Santa Claus of El Filibusterismo, who gave financial support to the publication of El Filibusterismo, the second novel of Rizal. While Marcelo H. Del Pilar is the second editor of La Solidaridad. All right, so here, no, we mentioned already Graciano Lopez Haina, a renowned orator of the reform movement, Maximo Viola, who founded the NOLI, Valentin Ventura, who's founded the El Filibusterismo, while Marcelo del Pilar is one of a key figure in the reform movement and later become the second editor of La Solidaridad. By the way, Marcelo del Pilar, no, use several pen names, no? Among the most famous is, of course, Dolores Manapat, Plaridel, yan. Yan ay ilan sa kanyang mga sagisag panulat. Okay? Item number 7, social science. Right invoked by filing the writ of amparo is blank. A. Right to due process. B. Right to self-defense. C. Right to be defended by a public attorney. Or letter D. Right to life, liberty, and security. Okay, so what is your answer here? All right. Of course, when we talk about the rite of amparo, we're talking about, or we're actually looking into the right to life, liberty, and security. So, rite of amparo, right to life, liberty, and security, LLS. Okay, life, liberty, and security. So we have a lot of REITs, no? We did mention rite of amparo already, but just in case no lumabas yung rite of habeas corpus, it commands authorities to produce a detained person before the court and justify their detention, ensuring protection against illegal imprisonment. So pag nakita, bring the body literally. No, so that's writ of habeas corpus. Writ of habeas data is granting individual access to personal information. So writ of habeas data, personal information or data privacy collected by the government or private entities and allows them to correct or delete false or damaging data. So that is writ of habeas data. Writ of kalikasan provides environmental protection by allowing individuals or groups to seek remedies for environmental damage that affect a large number of people. So it has something to do with environmental protection. All right. Well, writ of mandamus compels government agencies to perform a duty required by law. All right, especially in cases involving public interest and environmental protection. So that is the writ of mandamus. Okay. Item number 8, social science. What document contains the first formal declaration of a state of public health emergency throughout the Philippines due to the COVID-19 in 2020? A. Proclamation 81, B. Proclamation 929, C. Proclamation 1021, or letter D. Proclamation 1034. So, what is the official, no, first formal declaration of state of public health emergency in the country? That is, of course, Proclamation 929. So, letter B is the correct answer. Letter B, Proclamation 929 is the first formal declaration of state of public health emergency, state of calamity in the Philippines due to the COVID-19 in March 2020. While Proclamation 81 was the document which contained the formal proclamation of martial law in the Philippines by President Ferdinand Marcos. Okay, so that was during the martial law. While Proclamation 1021 extended the state of calamity due to COVID-19, but was not the first formal declaration. Okay. Next item, item number 9, English. I really object blank in rooms where other people have to eat. A, people smoking. B, to people smoke. C, people to smoke. Or letter D, to people smoking. So what's the correct phrase, no? To complete our sentence, to make it grammatical. Right? So what's your answer here? I really object to people smoking in rooms where other people have to eat. So letter D is the best answer there. I really object to people smoking in rooms where other people have to eat. So you can you include two people, then added the word the gerund no of the verb smoke. So that's smoking. Really object to people smoking in rooms other people have to eat. Okay, so that's the correct answer. Item number 10, social science. What is the Philippines' first sovereign wealth initiative designed to maximize national funds through generating returns in alignment with the administration's economic objectives? A. International Monetary Fund. B. World Bank. C. Maharlika Investment Fund, or letter D. Bank of the Philippine Islands. The first sovereign wealth initiative of the Philippines. Okay, so what's the answer here? Future top notchers, of course, this is. All right, it's letter C, Maharlika Investment Fund. Okay, so it's the Maharlika Investment Fund. And when we talk about Maharlika Investment Fund, it's the country's first sovereign wealth fund created to maximize national funds through investments and returns that align with the government's economic agenda. While the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, is a global financial institution that provides monetary assistance and policy advice to member countries like the Philippines. While World Bank is an international financial institution that provides funding and technical assistance for development projects worldwide, including our country. And the Bank of the Philippine Islands, or the BPI, founded in 1851, is the first bank in the Philippines and in Southeast Asian region. So the very first bank in the Philippines is the Bank of the Philippine Islands. Okay. Item number 11, English. The Bonifacio Day reminds us about heroes worth blank. A. Appreciating. B. Emulating. C. Reading about. Or letter D. Studying. Right? So it reminds about heroes worth, okay, like Bonifacio, like Andres Bonifacio. That is letter B. Emulating. Something that we look up to, and something that we can um uh follow, no, it's especially its ideals, and even the principles, and even the good values that we can learn from Andres Bonifacio. And remember that Andres Bonifacio is considered as the ama ng ama ng Katipunan, or tinuturing ding ama ng himagsikan, or ama ng revolusyon. So that is Andres Bonifacio, who actually founded the KKK, or Kataas-Taasang Kagalang-galangang Katipunan ng mga okay? So emulating means following the example of heroes, which aligns with the purpose of Bonifacio Day. And remember also that Bonifacio, no, the second wife of Bonifacio, Gregoria de Jesus, is considered as Lakambini ng Katipunan, no, the muse of the Katipunan, because the first wife of Bonifacio was Monica. Okay, and then eventually he married, no, Gregoria de Jesus, no, si Oriang, no, the Lakambini of the Katipunan. Okay? Item number 12, science. Which among the following represents the smallest unit of life? A. Embryo, B. Organelle, C. Cell, D. Atom. Okay? So the smallest unit of life, no? The basic structural unit of life is none other than the cell, of course. Letter C is the correct answer. Cell is a basic structural unit of life, and it was discovered by. Actually, it was the term was actually coined by Robert Hooke, no, after observing some dried cork, and he saw empty spaces and eventually called them cell. But the discovery of the first living cells was that of Antoine Laurent Lavoisier, or Anton van Leeuwenhoek, no? Anton van Leeuwenhoek, which he called animalcules, no? Which are protozoa in the contemporary times. Antoine Laurent Lavoisier naman is the father of modern chemistry. Anton van Leeuwenhoek is animalcules, or the first living cells under a microscope. That's why Leeuwenhoek is considered as the father of microscopy. Item number 13, social science. Who is considered as the godfather of the local public relations industry? A. Nash Ang, B. Nole de Castro, C. Charlie Agatep, D. Max Sullivan. Okay, who is considered as the godfather of the local public relations industry? So what's your answer here? Future top-notchers? Of course, that is okay, hindi umabot. Sige, let me edit that quickly. Of course, no, it's what? It's Agatep. No, that's all right. Let me go over it. No, of course, that's Agatep, the father of, okay, yeah, Charlie Agatep, the father of, godfather of the local public relations industry. Yeah, try again. Yeah. Okay, so letter C is the correct answer. Okay, Maximo Salaven is one of the founding fathers of the Philippine Star, together with Betty Go Del Monte. Okay, while Nolly de Castro, as you know, is a journalist, okay, like Nashang. Okay, while although Nolly de Castro later became the vice president of President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Okay, so Charlie Agatep is acknowledged as the godfather of the local public relations industry, as I mentioned, in the Philippines, a prominent figure in the field, having significantly influenced and shaped public relations practices in the country. Item number 14, science. Which of the following is an example of artificial propagation? A, grafting. B, pollen germination. C, external fertilization. D, embryonic development. So which is the correct answer? Okay, so what's your answer? Future top notchers? Of course, that is artificial propagation, vegetative propagation, that is grafting. Letter A is the correct answer. So grafting does not involve the gametes or sex cells. So it's an artificial propagation, or we call it vegetative propagation, or a form of asexual reproduction. So grafting is a technique that joins two plants in one, combining characteristics of both plants. So you have here the scion and the stock, or the rootstock. No? Then you have the graft union. Then you have to wrap and wax them and wait for roots to sometimes, sorry, for these you can actually watch it grow and eventually produce a certain fruit from that of the scion. Okay, so next item number 15, social science. Kailan ipinanganak si Dr. Jose P. Rizal? A, June 19, 1861. B, June 19, 1862. C, June 19, 1863. Or letter D, June 19, 1864. Okay, so what is your answer here? Of course, no, walang iba kapag pinanganak, no? Petsa ng kapanganakan ni Dr. Jose Rizal, June 19, 1861. So, he was born June 19, 1861. Saan siya pinanganak ulit? Si Dr. Jose P. Rizal sa Calamba, Laguna. Na itintanong din niya, no? It was um, asked in their previous boards as well. So siya ay pinanganak sa Calamba, Laguna. At ang Laguna ay bahagi ng Calabarzon, no? Sa ating Region 4A, no? Calabarzon, Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon. Okay? So we did mention already the birthday of Jose Rizal. That's June 19, 1861. Kailan naman pinatay actually, no? Si Dr. Jose Rizal. Kailan ang kamatayan? Petsa ng kamatayan ni Dr. Jose Rizal. It's on December 30, 1896, right? So December 30, 1896. And 2 years after 1896, 1898, nakamit na natin ang kalayaan mula sa Espanya. No? That's on June 12, 1898. Okay? Kailan naman na-publish ang Noli Me Tangere? Okay? The publication of Noli Me Tangere is in 1887. It's March 21, 1887. Okay? So that's Noli Me Tangere, March 21, 1887. While publication of El Filibusterisme is on kailan? 1891. September 18, 1891 naman. Okay? So, Noli Me Tangere, sino ulit ang tagapagligtas ng Noli Me Tangere? That's Maximo Viola. Sino ang tagapagligtas ng El Filibusterismo? That's Valentin Ventura. Okay? So, next, item number 16, social science. Which law gives more autonomy to towns, cities, and provinces? A. Barangay law. B. Local government code. C. Civil service law. Letter D. Cooperative law. Sino ang nagbibigay ng autonomiya, no? Okay, ng autonomy, no, na makapamahala sa mga bayan, mga syudad at mga probinsiyas sa Pilipinas. Of course, that is the local government code. Letter B is the correct answer. So the local government code of 1991 decentralizes the power, okay, granting autonomy or freedom to local government units or LGUs in governance, finance, and development. Anong Republic Act na nga ulit ang LGU code or the local government code? That is RA 7160. Okay? So RA 7160 issued or passed in 1991 and who is considered as the father of the local government code of the Philippines na laging ring tinatanong sa board exam. Okay, sino po siya? Walang iba kundi si, of course, the former Senator Aquilino Nene Pimentel Jr. So Aquilino Nene Pimentel Jr. is considered as the father of the local government code, being the author of this particular law. Okay, RA 7160. Item number 17, social science. President Rodrigo Duterte declared martial law in Mindanao on May 23, 2017 through proclamation number blank A 216, B 1081, C 143, D 2317. So what is your answer here, future top-notchers? Ang Batas Militar sa Mindanao noong May 23, 2017 ay sa pamamagitan ng proklamasyon bilang 216. Letter A is the correct answer. Proclamation 216, martial law in Mindanao. Okay, so that is on May 23, 2017, following the Marawi siege by the Maute or Maute terrorist group. Okay? Well, proclamation number 1081 naman was the martial law declaration of President Ferdinand Marcos in September 21, 1972. No, it was signed on September 21, 1972 and was announced by by Marcos Sr. in September 21, 1970. September 23, 1972, when it was announced. But the declaration itself was signed on September 21, 1972. Okay, so right, item number 18, science. Which of the following is an example of physical change? A, burning a piece of metal. B, changing of iodine crystals into a violet gas. C, formation of two gases during electrolysis of water. Or letter D, formation of black solid from heated iron and sulfur. All right. So which among the option is a physical change? Okay. The rest kasi are chemical changes, except one. And the physical change here is letter. What's your answer? Yes, it's letter B, changing of iodine crystals into a violet gas. So that's from solid to gas. And in science, the process, no, where solid becomes gas, we call it sublimation. Okay, like the naphthalene ball or the mothball or the dry ice. It's sublimation, solid to gas. Okay, letter A, burning a piece of metal. No, an alteration there's a formation of new substance, and so letter A is a chemical change. Letter C, electrolysis is actually a chemical change as well. While letter D, the formation of black solid from iron and sulfur, which forms a new substance called the iron sulfide, then that is actually a chemical change. So letter B is just a phase transition, okay, from solid only to gas, then we could consider it as a physical change. There's no formation of new substance. Okay. Item number 19, social science. When one controls the supply or production of goods, this implies blank. A, inflation. B, economic stability. C, monopoly. D, economic equilibrium. Okay. So what is your answer here? When one controls the supply or the production of goods, we call it what? Right. It's letter C, monopoly. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng monopolyo. Okay? So, letter C is the correct answer. So, monopoly when one entity controls the supply or production of goods as it dominates the market. No? So, limiting competition and potentially manipulating the prices. Well, inflation, it refers to the general rise in prices due to various factors. While economic equilibrium when supply and demand are balance. Equilibrium is in the state of balance. Okay? So, pag nakita naman sa board exam, just in case matanong ulit, okay, tobacco monopoly o monopolyo ng tobacco, that is Jose Basco. Okay, Jose Basco, monopolyo ng tobacco. Okay, so item number 20, science. The growth of roots towards water is an example of blank. A. Chemotrophism. B. Geotropism. C. Hydrotropism. Or letter D. Phototropism. Okay. So towards water, response of plant towards water, of course, that is correct. Hydrotropism. So hydrotropism is the correct answer. Letter C is the correct answer. So when we talk about hydrotropism, it's growth response to water sources. While chemotropism is response to chemical stimuli such as pollen tube growth towards the ovule. So there is chemical stimuli. While geotropism is growth response to gravity. Where roots grow downward, no, we call it positive geotropism when roots grow downward, and shoots grow upward, that is negative geotropism naman. Okay? So natanong na yung before, the positive and negative geotropism. So remember that. Okay? Then phototropism, growth in response to light. Sa liwanag naman to, the sunlight, where shoots grow toward light sources. Okay? So thigmotrophism, growth response to touch or physical contact. Thigmo, touch or physical contact, commonly seen sa ating mga baging, the vines and the tendrils of the vines wrapping around structures sa mga balag o sa mga stick na kung saan doon gumagapang yung ating mga vines. Okay, again, for thigmotropism, hindi ito ini-exhibit ng makahiya. Okay, not makahiya, no? Thigmotropism ay yung mga kumakapit sa mga kahoy, sa mga balag, no? So yung mga gulay na gumagapang. Pag tinatch mo yung makahiya, it's not really about thigmotropism, it's about turgor pressure. Okay? Thermotropism, growth response to temperature changes, where some plants adjust leaf angles or open-close flowers depending on heat level. So temperature naman pag thermotropism. Okay? Alright, item number 21. Be sure to fill blank the forms correctly. A over, B in, C on, D with. So what is the correct answer here? Okay, what's the correct preposition? What's the correct word to for the forms? Okay, it's letter B, no? Be sure to fill in the forms correctly. So letter B is the best and correct answer for this, okay? So 22, science, the advice, fasten your seatbelt is an application of blank. A law of inertia, B law of acceleration, C law of interaction, or letter D, law of dominance. Okay? So, di ba naririnig natin, fasten your seatbelt, lalo kapag nasa bus kayo, passenger bus, or even in airplanes, okay? So, fasten your seatbelt or isuot ang inyong sinturong pangkaligtasan. Anong Newton's law yan of motion? That is letter A, the law of inertia. Law of inertia ito. Okay, mali lang tayo nung lagay. So, that is law of inertia. Remember, no, when we talk about inertia, no, there is, no, a resistance, no, in the change of motion. Kaya nga kapag biglang um, tawag dito, biglang andar ng sasakyan, no, you tend to push yourself forward, no? So, you tend to push yourself forward, no, that's inertia. And so, kailangan, no, para maiwasan natin ang mga aksidente at hindi magandang mangyari, no, you have to always fasten our seatbelt, no? So, that is letter A, law of inertia. So, Newton's first law of motion states that an object in motion stay in motion unless acted upon by an external force. So, seatbelts prevent passengers from continuing forward motion during sudden stops or collision. So, that is our law of inertia. Okay? So, tatandaan po natin. Alright, so next. Item number 23. As the government's COVID-19 vaccination program continues to accelerate, a government official has called on stakeholders to prepare the country for the next normal. Accelerate means blank. A slow, B quicken, C hinder, D delay. Of course, when we talk about accelerate, no, all right, program continues to accelerate. No? Government officials called on stakeholders. So that is letter B, quicken. Slow, hinder, and delay have similar meanings, which are opposite to the meaning of accelerate. Okay, and accelerate, the best synonym that we can have here is quicken para mas mapadali, no? Yung ating mga vaccination program at the time of the COVID-19. So after the COVID-19, we had our transition, bumalik tayo. So Sa normal, we call it the bagong normal o bagong kadawian or the next normal or the new normal. So letter B here is the correct word. Okay. Item number 24, science. Most asteroids are found between the two planets. Blank. A, Venus and Earth. B, Earth and Mars. C, Mars and Jupiter. D, Jupiter and Saturn. Saan natin makikita o matatagpuan ang ating mga asteroids? Of course, no? Between the, okay, planets, of course, no? Mars and Jupiter. So between the Mars and Jupiter, we can find the asteroid belt. Okay? Si asteroid belt. Okay? At ang pinakamalaking asteroid noon, no? In the asteroid belt is actually, sino? Si Ceres, no? Si Ceres noon, no? Pinakamalaki. Kaya lang, si Ceres ay na-promote na bilang dwarf planet. Remember, we have five dwarf planets. We have the Pluto, we have Ceres, Aries, Haumea, and Makemake. Alright? So letter C is the correct answer. All right, item number 25. On January 1, 2018, Republic Act number 10963, otherwise known as the Train Law, took effect. What does Train Law stand for? A. Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion. B. Tax Reform for Added Income. C. Tax Reform for Acceleration and Income. Or letter D. Tax Reform for Accelerated Inclusion. Right. So what is the correct answer? Okay. So syempre ang pinaka kung gagawin nating 50-50 to, so we'll retain option A and option D. Okay? They have the same uh choice of words, okay? And which among the two is correct? The correct meaning of train? Of course, that is letter A. Tax reform for acceleration and inclusion. So tatandaan nyo rin po ang abbreviation to kasi previously, no, in the recent boards, no, natanong na rin ang train. Alright? So the TRAIN Act is aimed to generate revenue to achieve the 2022 and 2040 vision of the Duterte administration, namely to eradicate extreme poverty, which is also the SDG number one, no? Um, no poverty. Bago yung SDG number 2, zero hunger. So to create inclusive institution that will offer equal opportunities to all and to achieve higher income country status. Okay, so that's the TRAIN law or the TRAIN Act. Tax reform, acceleration, and inclusion. Okay, so there. All right, so that ends our 25 item Gen Ed Let Review drill. So for more questions of the day, you can actually follow Sir Dan Rogayan on Facebook. I also post questions about Prof Ed and science majorship. No, I also share our YouTube videos in the page. And more than that, I'm also sharing some publication materials or PubMats or infographics, which can help you review um, several concepts in your board licensure examination, may it be Gen Ed, Prof Ed, and of course, particularly on science majorship. For those who are science majors, you can also check no, our YT videos in our channel. So again, sa lahat ng mga sumusubaybay sa ating Gen Ed Let Review Drill, laban, papasa tayo. Magiging LPT po kayong lahat. Keep fighting. And again, I appreciate all your messages of gratitude, your words of gratitude. I do appreciate that. And ilang days na lang, 'di ba? Ilang days na lang ay board exam na. So, yeah, so I'll try my very best na mag upload ng mas marami pa no, in the coming days as we prepare for your upcoming board exam. Okay? So you can actually check some of our previous Gen Ed let review drills in our YouTube channel, Teacher Dan Rogayan. Once again, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Keep praying, keep manifesting, and keep claiming that you will all pass the board exam. Again, maraming salamat until our next video.